Welcome to our viewers from around the globe. You join us just as today's practice session for the Australian Grand Prix is about to start. In total, the teams will be visiting 19 tracks this year, including some old favourites and 2 new locations.
Well, I think the teams will be looking forward to the new Russian Grand Prix, which is being held at the Olympic Park in Sochi. It's a brand new track and a total unknown. We're also going back to Austria, which was last raced in 2003, so this should be a lot of fun this year.
This year's most significant change is to the loud thing behind the driver's head. Gone are the cries of the old V8 engines. In their place, monstrous torque from the new turbocharged 1.6-litre V6 hybrids. An efficient and exciting new power unit to usher in a new age of Formula One.
The sport is trying to become a bit more fuel efficient, which is a good thing, but there are definite question marks over whether the new noise of these V6 cars are to the tastes of the fans.
Hey there guys, JWF1 here, and welcome to Championship Mode with Felipe Massa 2014 edition. Now, I had a thought through about this, and I thought to myself, you know what, I might as well do a 2014 version of it as well, since the Championship Mode is actually quite fun. So, we're still going to be Felipe Massa, as we are in the other Championship Mode. So, yeah, as you can see, I'm putting on the setup again, and yeah, so it's going to be the 2014 season that we're going to be doing this. So how I'm going to work this, one day you'll have 2015 and then the other day you'll have 2014, so we'll take it in turns with the coverage. So we're on our practice right now, and as you can see, we're about to end the lap now. Get a little bit of oversteer there, flicking on the DRS, and we come across the line for our first lap in practice to do a 1 minute 30.5. As you can tell, these cars are actually slower than this year's cars, which is really surprising. So on my second lap, I try and go a little bit better. I'm still at the top of the moment, but I don't believe I'm going to stay here for long. But as you can see, Rosberg's now at the top. So I'm going to finish my lap time now. Coming up behind Roman Grosjean, who shouldn't be an issue whatsoever. And we're going to cross the line to do a 1 minute 29 dead. So we're at the top of the moment, but yet again, I don't think we're going to be up there. And no, we are actually in 5th position, just like in the 2015 season. So that is the practice result so far. So now let's go to the qualifying.
Welcome to Melbourne, where qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix should be getting underway shortly. We'll soon learn the true performance of these cars out on track. What can we expect to see in the following session?
Well, I think we're all expecting the Mercedes power unit to be particularly strong this year, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them at the front. But I wouldn't discount Red Bull or Ferrari just yet. We know they have the talent and the resources to react to any problem, so although they may be playing catch-up, I would expect them to bring some major upgrades pretty early, maybe before we even get back to Europe.
So here we are then, here in qualifying, and as you can see, I'm just preparing for qualifying right now, and there's nothing really much going on at the moment. So yeah, so you're going to see quite a lot of differences between the 2015 and the 2014 cars as you go around, especially on the tracks as well, and I'll explain that a little bit later on in the video as we go on. Because you'll see why in a bit, as we've just put on the setup once again, and now we're going to start our first lap here at the Australian Grand Prix. Now I want to show you why I'm going to start it here, because look what happens. I get held up heavily by Max Chilton this time, not Pastor Maldonado, Max Chilton. He comes out the pits and I had no choice but to go around him, so that did cost me quite a bit of time there. But, oh well, what can you do? So we're going to come to the end of that lap now, coming through the second to the last corner. And it's a good job now they've put the correct wheel on the Williams 2014 car now, because on last year's game they put the 2013 on, which was clearly a copy and paste. But now we're going to cross the line to do a 1 minute 28.4, so that's quicker than we've been so far. And now we're going to cut through to the beginning of our second lap. We're down to 4th. And like in 2015, I feel that I can do better. I believe I can get into the top 3. Our target is Felipe Bottas, our teammate, so he shouldn't be a problem at all whatsoever. I think that's him in front as well. So now through turn 2, flicking on the DRS, down the straight, trying to get the best speed as we can in 8th gear, braking into turn 3, missing the apex there. I've really got to regather it through these corners now, through this corner, and because of that wide entrance that I got through turn 3, I've compromised my exit through turn 4. Now, down through this little straight now with right and lefts, and now through this corner now, flat out through here, and then little steering input through this long right-hander. It's quite long indeed, and now braking for this right-hander. Now I'll tell you where the difference is between 2014. If you look over to the right-hand side, if you remember in 2014 it has Fly Emirates on the side of those barriers there, but it's got nothing this time. So clearly they're trying to replicate both years with the exact same scenery that they have. So although it's not really a big feature, it's quite nice to see that Codemasters have put in some realism in it. So now coming through the fourth to last corner now, I'm coming up to two cars right now. One of them is Bottas obviously, and I don't know who the other car is, but they shouldn't affect my time too much. It's actually Suttil. I think Bottas is actually being held up by Suttil. But now we're coming through the last corner now. I have to lift through there because I'm going into the wall. Down the straight, and what's the time going to be? A 1:28 point dead again, which is going to take me up to third position, and that's where we are in qualifying. So we've got the two Mercedes in front and our teammate behind. So that is qualifying here at the Australian Grand Prix. So now let's cut to the race.
It's nearly 5 o'clock here local time, and welcome to race day here in Melbourne, Australia. The cars are on the grid and they should be setting off shortly for the formation lap. What a great start to the season for Nico Rosberg. He's on pole for today's race. He'll be delighted with how qualifying went yesterday, but knows there's a lot of hard work to come before he can secure that race win.
Well, Nico will be focused on the task at hand. He's on pole position, he's proven his speed, and if he can just stay out in front, he should be able to create a gap. So I think he's got a good chance of victory today, as long as he has no car issues along the way.
With its raw speed, the Williams is looking great this weekend, and the way Valtteri Bottas is driving, well, I wouldn't bet against him securing his first ever podium finish today.
Valtteri has been dialed into the track in every session. I really feel that he can challenge the Mercedes today and potentially get on the podium.
So here we are then, here for the race here at the Australian Grand Prix at Albert Park, Melbourne. So yeah, so there's the strategy. It's kind of similar to the 2015 career modes, of which I believe it is. But now, here we go for the race then. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we are off here for the 2014 season. And as you can see, I get a decent start. I haven't jumped one of the Mercedes yet. In fact, Bottas is trying to take third off me, but I go right round him to keep hold of that third position. I haven't jumped the Mercedes, but I'm expecting them to jolt into the distance as they are a Mercedes. So now, down into turn 3. In fact, we're up with the Mercedes, in fact. If we can keep up with them, that would be amazing. As we've got a little bit of a yellow flag there, but now it's gone to green. Now through turn 5, flat out as you go through, and we're keeping up with the Mercedes. This is incredible. I honestly expected the Mercedes to just jolt away from me and the rest of the pack, but no, I'm actually keeping up with them, which is pretty impressive. So now, coming through the right-hander now, as I get very close to the back of Lewis Hamilton right there, I'm just trying to keep all of them. I am biding my time here. I'm not going to go for any dive bomb moves like in 2014, because in the 2015 game, you have to really plan your overtakes now. You have to see where you have to predict where the overtake can come. Plan it out as well. You can't just go for a dive bomb, because the AI will not, get out of the way like they did in 2014. So I'm just keeping up with them for now, as there was a yellow flag down, probably wondering why there was. Now through the third to last corner, there's now a green flag over that sector. So I think this is actually why the yellow flag came out. So we're going to ride on board with Sergio Perez. He's behind, that looks like Fernando Alonso. He's made contact with Alonso. So he spun Alonso around, he spun, and then he's taken Hulkenberg out. And now it's just chaos, because a Caterham has just cluttered around, and now somebody's hit Perez again, and it's everyone. It's a pretty much a pile up at the moment. So that clearly proves that the AI do make mistakes on this game, which is good to see at last, that they do finally make mistakes and actually get penalties. because on the last game you hardly saw that. So now we're going to cut to the beginning of lap 2, and I'm lined up for a pass on Lewis Hamilton. I'm tucked into his slipstream. I'm going to look to the inside. This will be a fantastic move for a pass Lewis Hamilton. I'm on the inside. I'm trying my best, but Lewis is hanging it around, and sure enough, he keeps second place. So I'm going to tuck him for now. I'm a little bit quicker than him, but I've just got to lift because I don't want to hit the back of him. I've just got to wait and bide my time to find where the overtake can come. And but that was a great opportunity there. We clearly have the car to win this race today. So now we're going to cut to lap 3 now, and we're still right behind the two Mercedes. In fact, Lewis Hamilton is actually tucked up behind the team. In fact, he's going to have a go at him for the lead. Side by side, he gets a little bit of a tap on the wall through the left-hander, and there's a bit of a gap there. Can I get Rosberg? And oh no! How I didn't lose my front wing there, I do not know, but for some reason I got a warning for a collision with Rosberg. I do not know whose fault that was, but whatever the outcome is, it's cost my race, and I'm struggling to, find a gap where I can, get back on the track. And now I'm dropping positions, and I think I've dropped to 13th, no 14th now, because Bianchi's got past. But he shouldn't be an issue whatsoever to re-overtake, so that is a disaster. A possible win and a podium, in fact, is over for me, and for sure. I don't know if I've cost myself or Rosberg cost me, but that is a disaster. So now we've got to really get those positions back again. So now we're flicking on the DRS. We're behind Bianchi. This is the lap when the DRS is enabled, and he's easy pickings for me. I'm up into 13th position. It's a good job Bianchi is on the game, because there was a rumour that he wasn't on the game, but I did get confirmation that he is on the game, which is good to see. So now at this point, if you notice on the bottom right, I forget that I had DRS because I was focusing too much on the two Sauers in front that I forgot that I had DRS available, which I didn't know until I actually looked back at the video. And now we're side by side with Sutter, and he's easy pickings for us, so we're up into 12th. Next target is Esteban Gutierrez. He shouldn't be a problem whatsoever. He isn't a slow Sauber, for goodness sake. We are closing up to him very quickly. Our Mercedes engine should easily get him. We don't even need to wait. We're down the inside, and we're up into 11th. That wasn't even planned there at all. That was just an easy move. We did not need to think about that whatsoever. So now we're going to cut to lap number 5, and we've got Jean-Eric Vergne as our next target, but he's a long way ahead, so we're going to have to push. As I dip a wheel onto the ground, I'm losing it, but luckily I keep it all together. In fact, I go wide there, which has compromised it, but luckily, unlike 2015, I do not lose a position. So we're now on lap number 6 now, and we're coming up to that same corner that I dipped a wheel into the gravel, and I've once again done it. It's clearly clear then that I'm losing tyre grip because of the spin that I had. So that is not good whatsoever, as there are people in the pits right now, and one of them is actually Bottas. And so we're up to 10th, and the other one, that's Nico Rosberg, the guy that, took us out essentially, and we're actually ahead of him. So I could be doing Lewis Hamilton a big favour here in holding up Nico Rosberg to let Lewis, win the race. So we're now in the middle of lap 7. We are still defending Nico Rosberg. Nico has struggled to find a way past us at the moment. So now he's tucked up behind us. Nico's going to look to the outside, and he looks like he's done it, but I'm going to do the same thing what I did to Bottas in 2015. Keep it on the inside and keep hold of the knife. I've got a bit of a gap, but that will not be easy to keep hold of. I believe that Rosberg will get onto the back of us again. So now we're going to come through the 4th to last corner, and Rosberg tucked up behind. We are clearly struggling with tyre grip through this right-hander, and once again dipping a wheel onto the gravel, and this time Rosberg takes 9th off us. So our plan of holding him up didn't exactly go according to plan, but it might have helped Lewis Hamilton a little bit. So that's unfortunate. There's more people coming to the pits. That's Hulkenberg. So we are up to 9th for now, but we are still yet to make a pit stop. And I believe that this is the lap we're actually coming into the pits now, lap 8, not lap 9 like in 2015. So we're going to be coming on lap 8. So now we're going to cut towards the end of lap 8, and as you can see, my tyres are definitely gone at this point. I understeer through that corner, and now I've got Valtteri Bottas on the back of me. I'm just hoping and praying to God that I do not hold him up too much, because that will be a disaster for the team. But luckily I don't. I duck into the pits for my scheduled stop. Nico Rosberg set the fastest lap there, as we are going to come into the pits as we need to make a comeback, because we cannot be in these positions. We had a podium on the cards and then we just blew it because maybe I was a little bit greedy, but there was a gap there. I thought I could take it, but clearly not. Nico shut the door at the last minute and I pretty much made contact with him, and that was that really. So now we're going to coming out of the pits. We're on another set of the option tyres now on lap 9, and we're going to rejoin in 16th place behind Maldonado. So, oh dear. So, anyways, he shouldn't be an easy. He should be an easy target to get past anyway. So now we're going to cut to the end of lap 9, and we're on the back of Pastor Maldonado now, and we're going to come through the second lap corner. We did not even need to wait for the DRS straight, and we go through into 15th position. Grosjean actually ducks into the pits, so and in fact a few other cars actually come in. So where does this put us now? We are in 11th. So our next target is Kevin Magnussen, who is 12 seconds in front of us. So we have a quicker car than Magnussen, so we should be able to go in. And on lap 11, I do not know how I've caught him. Clearly he might be preserving there, but I'm on the back of him now. On the end of lap 11, I go to the outside of him and I take 10th place off Kevin Magnussen. And next target is actually John Verne, who's actually straight in front of us. We could easily get him as well through this corner now. Luckily, I don't dip a wheel into the gravel this time. I have a look towards the inside, but no, I think well of it. I think to wait for DRS, left through there and flicking on the DRS, and we should be able to get him quite easily. We are tucked into his slipstream. We are now going to the right hand side, and sure enough we move up into 9th position. So far this comeback is going really well, but how far can we get up the field? Our next target is Nico Hülkenberg. Yeah, surprise surprise. So now we're going to cut to lap 13, where we are on the back of Nico Hülkenberg right now, as some more people are actually in the pits. So this might put us up into 7th position at the moment, so that'll be quite good. So we've got DRS on Nico Hülkenberg in fact, but we're not close enough to make a pass on him into turn 1. So maybe we'll just have to wait for the second DRS straight to pass him. So through this corner now, and Hülkenberg has had a worse exit, we've had a better one. I tried to slow down to make sure that I get onto him at turn 3. I go to the inside, and I look like I've done it, but I've gone too deep. Is Hülkenberg going to get me back? Yes, he is. Hülkenberg has got me back there. So that I'll have to try again, because I honestly thought I had 6th there, but clearly I couldn't get the car stopped in time. As now we need to try and find a way to get past Hülkenberg again. He's our worst sector, but we've lost the rear end, and that's going to compromise us a lot. Oh my goodness me. I thought overtaking Hülkenberg would be easy here, but he's actually making my my race a little bit harder here. So Hülkenberg, like in real life, very good at defending. So through this little left-hander now, or long left-hander I should say, now through the chicane, surely I should have a chance to overtake him. We get a better exit than Hülkenberg. Once again, we're tucked into him. We're going to look to the outside, and now we're going to flick it to the inside. We're going to try and brake later than him. We're on the inside. Hülkenberg's still there, and he still keeps 6th, and I get a little bit more wheel spin. Oh my goodness me, Hülkenberg's making my race a little harder. So now I'm going to wait for the DRS again, but before I have a chance, as you can see, look, Hülkenberg ducks into the pit. So we're now up to 6th position, but that has probably cost me time to get onto the back of Jenson Button, who's our next target. And we've already got a retirement in the race. I do not know who that is, but we've already got a retirement. So now we're going to cut to lap 17 of the race, and we're coming through this right-hander, and we're getting a little bit of understeer there. And we've got Valtteri Bottas right behind us, our teammate, and he just easily gets through. I do not put up a fight whatsoever, and it's clear that my tyres are clearly going again. We are getting to the stage where we should be making our second stop but this time for the prime tyres. As you can see, I'm understeering like mad, and now I've got Kevin Magnussen on the back of me. So now we're going to cut later onto lap 18, and as you can see, Magnussen, oh no, it's now Ricardo's actually got past Magnussen, and we made contact. Ricardo and I have made contact, and Magnussen has gone through into 7th, and I get a warning for that. But I don't understand what Ricardo was thinking there. I would love to see a replay on how they think it's my fault. Here we go then. So we're going to ride on board with Ricardo, who's right behind me here, look. So we're going to go to the... So he's gone to the inside, and I don't understand what Ricardo was thinking. He should have known that I was going to close the door there. There was no way he was going to get through there. So that was clearly a misjudgment from Ricciardo there. That clearly was not my fault whatsoever. So now we're going to cut to the end of lap 18. We've got Jean very right on the back of us, but we're now going to come into the pits for our second stop, and this time it will be for the prime tyres. So we've already done some conserving of the fuel and the tyres, so now we've got to make sure that we get to the end on the prime tyres and with the fuel that we've got so far. So now we're on the prime tyres. It's a 2.6 second stop. Magnussen has just come out in front of us, and we're actually ahead of Alonso, so that may be a challenge. Probably not too much, because he has a Ferrari engine, which, if you can remember from last year, the Ferrari engine was quite bad last year. So we've got that second gear glitch again, but luckily it didn't affect us too much. So now we want to get onto the back of Magnussen once again. So now we're going to cut later on onto the lap, and we are on the back of Kevin Magnussen now. Through the fourth to last corner, we're going to bide our time. I think we're going to wait for the DRS. No, we don't, because Magnussen made a mistake there. We're going to go to the inside, and have we got the position? Yes, we have. Fantastic move. We didn't even need to wait for DRS. We've got DRS as a bonus, but we are up into 8th place. A fantastic move, taking advantage of a mistake that Magnussen made through that corner. So, like again, great to see the AI make mistakes and that you can take advantage of them. Now, coming towards the end of lap 21, it looks like Hulkenberg is in the pits, so we should be up into 7th place. And our next target is Valtteri Bottas, who is 9 seconds in front of us, so we could have a chance to catch him up if we are lucky. Yeah, so we are doing so well so far. This comeback is going well, but now we're going to cut to the second to last lap. We didn't gain on anybody until the second to last lap, because look there, look, Bottas has passed Button, and now we are 1.6 seconds behind Button. Now we've been gaining on him rapidly, so now we're going to cut to the last lap. Can we get him? As Suttel gets in the way, and he almost collects me there. Luckily he did not collect me there, but that has cost me a little bit of time. I want to get Button. I want to get that 6th place to get some more points in the bag for Williams, but I feel that that's not going to be easy, as he's 1 second in front of us. So the checkered flag comes out. We're flat out through this right-hander now. We have preserved these tyres well. Lewis Hamilton has won the race, just like in the 2015 season. But that's not the important thing. We want to get Jenson Button right now, and through this long right-hander, and we could be coming up to traffic. So that traffic could help us, but I don't know if we're going to catch that traffic up in time, as I've missed the apex and I've gone wide. That might be it for a challenge on Jenson Button, but we're not going to give up anyway. We're going to keep trying to take 6th place. So through this little left-hander, and now coming through into the chicane, we are 2.3 seconds back, so I don't think we're going to get him, and I do not believe the Button's going to catch the traffic up in time to for us to have any opportunity to get past Button. Unless Button makes a mistake, I don't think we're going to get that 6th place. I think we'll have to settle for 7th. So now coming through the third to last corner, trying to make sure I don't dip it into the gravel, which I don't. Now coming towards the second to last corner, and then now coming through the last corner now. We unfortunately didn't get Jenson Button. Jenson is going to finish in 6th, and we are going to cross the line in a disappointed 7th, which I'm absolutely gutted about, because I honestly thought a podium was in the cards there, and possibly a win, because of the fact of how tuk-tuk we were behind the Mercedeses. And as you can see, Massa does look a little bit disappointed about the race itself. A possible podium was on the cards, but we just, let it slip. So here are the results then. Lewis Hamilton won the race with Nico Rosberg 2nd, Vettel 3rd, Raikkonen 4th, Bottas 5th, Button 6th, Massa 7th, I should say in 7th, Magnussen 8th, Hulkenberg 9th, and Verne completing the top 10, with Alonso and Ricciardo failing to get into the top 10. We failed our objective, which I believe to finish first, and I honestly believe that I could have done that, but oh well, it's racing. We'll have to try again in Malaysia, which is unfortunate. As you can see, Alonso actually got a time penalty for something, so that's quite unfortunate, but it's a good job they get a penalty. In the Drivers' Championship, it's the same. We are in 7th with 6 points. Hamilton takes an early lead in the Drivers' Championship. In the Constructors, we are somehow in 2nd, but only 1 point in front of Red Bull. But Mercedes have got a 27 cushion in front of us. So that is it for the first race of the 2014 edition of Championship Mode with Felipe Massa. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment and subscribe. And until next time, I've been JWF1, and I'll see you next time for the 2015 Championship edition at Malaysia. See ya.